today. Some of the plays worked pretty well. Let me know when you guys can see the screen, and then we'll kind of get into it.
Yep.
All right, so hopefully you guys were aware of this CPOC today. Was anyone paying attention to it much? Well, maybe not. It was coming down pretty nice to it, and I would say it's almost a perfect hit all the way to the CPOC, and then you got this massive bounce from there. Not sure who was able to catch any of it. I mean, it looked like it was going to be a downfall, but that CPOC was about 47 points, guys. So that's pretty good. Anytime, and you guys have seen the power of CPOCs before, from 41.40. When you have a major level like this and you're not able to build value, I'm just going to delete this all from the chart. Kind of look at it from the beginning. But whenever you're building value and you're not able to crack higher, you see that we have a nice little range on the top now. It's almost a really, really good balance that's being created. So at that time, and I covered this in the last class, you want to use the FVP to your power. Because if you're able to catch this today, let's say 20 points of this, you should be done mostly for the week trading, right? And here's this today. Let me see. I'll just make this a little bit smaller. Let's see.
I totally saw the bounce, but I did not trust that it was going to go up.
Yeah, I mean, but you don't have to trust that it's going to go all the way up, but you could have found some targets that would have worked, right? And now, you know, when you think about this, how would you find the targets where to take off? If this is our open right here, I would say let's add it so we can see it. It's session. So if this is our open here, right, then you could have used some cool tricks to find where can we reject, right? Even if you use this, or if you used, let's say 2-day, which is a 2-day balance here, you wouldn't have known obviously this, but let's say you opened and you want to use this right here as a level. Well, I mean, you could have done this pretty well. And if you look at the value area high, look where we rejected then again. So if you're taking this here, you could have potentially, right, when we came here to this level, you could have been targeting this right here, which would have been 48.05, which was also a first SIG, if I remember, I think 48.05 or 06. That would have been a decent one. Then another way you could have done is basically grabbing this to the bottom here, and you could have targeted, you know, once you see the nodes, you could have targeted this right here at 90. So if you caught this 72 to 90, that would have been good. And they gave you a decent, nice little reason to get out here, I would say. At least most people would get out when they see a wick like this. Then they cracked over that, and you see they cracked this one, then they went here. Obviously they get stuck a little bit, but you could have played this multiple ways. Then you could have used also confluence of some fibs here to find the levels that you can target. So 50% is 802, this one's 805. It becomes a decent zone for a target. And the only reason why I'm showing this, because that was a really good setup in that. I think I covered it enough in the watch list that you guys should, you know, not miss that CPOC bounce. If you did, it's not the last trade you're going to take, right? Move on and go from there. So still, what would you say? Are we out of the balance?
No, we're still in balance.
Guys, we are still in a dead balance here. I mean, this is, it's just enforcing the balance right here. And a lot of people that got trapped to the upside are probably screaming a little bit here. Because today I would say there's some trapped buyers to the top side here, just based on the wicks, but we'll take a look at it in the TPOs here. I just want to identify the SIGs. And look at this. I mean, this is just a perfection on the bounce. Let's see. So we got the CPOC. We're going to go hit the 95 here, just see where they are. And make sure this is 95.
Well, from yesterday, from the watch list, you had a must not break level at that 1875.
Correct.
Which is where it went right up to and tested and shorted. It was a great short from there, which has now become the TPO value high, pretty much that area.
Hold on 1 second. You're ahead of me a little bit. You're ahead of the TPO analysis. And yeah, of course, first SIG is going to be here.
Shorty, you are an RTH.
Oh, good catch. See, fish shifts, good catch. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Second section, not change. Third section, not change. Top one stays the same. This looks more lopsided to the down retest now, 2-3 sig than the top one. Why do I say that? Do you guys see it? Why do I think there's a higher chance of a lower test now and a break of the CPOC than a top?
Failing that that high volume node currently, and we did not make a higher high.
That's a very good point, Martez.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
You're right below, and this is a typical model where you're coming to 2-3 sig, and you guys know when the 2-3 sig is short like this, you guys know that I really like shorting that. When it's wider like this, that means I have a little bit more risk associated, right? I mean, that's quite a few points, 22 points. I don't have that much in my stop loss, but this here, I could definitely short, right? And this still remains poor high, but what Vartez mentioned here is that you have a lower high being built here and you have a double bottom here that's being kind of, and a lot of people would say they're creating head and shoulders right here at the middle of it. Another one would be a major inverse head and shoulders, right? But let's see which way it plays out. For me, they have to crack above this volume node. Ideally, they want to crack, I would say, right here, whatever this level is, about 22. I think we had 23.5 as a bullish level before. So I would say cracking above this level here would be really desirable right here. This volume node here, I don't know why this is yellow, but does that make sense? That would be, bullish, but you're approaching this level here. So above 22, you can hit this, but it's not something I would seek for when you're buying at the top. I don't like to buy too much at the top, right? Then I warned you guys, right, about this. I don't know if anyone took advantage of it. I tried to be as clear as I could last night. There's no reward being long today. And I think they punished a lot of people here. And I'll show you guys probably on footprints that there's some excess being built. Maybe not as much, but there's seriously some excess here that's being created. So this is all the levels, honestly, that I need. And I'll just look at the TPO because this is the balance that's being created. I'm pretty sure we have maybe a 2 or 3 day balance now. We'll look at the TPO, and you don't need to overcomplicate it. Your levels are working. Every single one of them is hitting to a penny, right? So no need to kind of overcomplicate it. This is an HVN here. You can, call it out if you want. But other than that, these are your key levels. Look how they're hitting here. Every single one here is working. So don't overcomplicate it. All right, let's see what we got on this. Man, that's beautiful. So we said you cannot break 75 last night. Is that correct? Right
on, here? Yeah, it was 75. Yeah, 75.
So we came right to it and we bounced. And look at look at where the single prints are.
Yeah.
All right. I like to make my single prints like this and a different color, but you guys can do whatever you want. I like them kind of like blue or something so I can differentiate. So let's see what they got. So they got a P shape. Man, how many V shape recoveries are they going today? And they closed above the POC. Wow. That is pretty good. Kudos for them. Holy moly. Is this real? Wow.
Yeah, that's why they really brought it back up. I'm amazed.
Oh my God, man.
As
wow.
much.
Which period did they bring it back in? K? And then L never made a framing up? I mean, they started framing up and down here immediately. And they closed, interestingly, they settled right above the POC here. It might not be a bad habit. If you guys want to know the inventory, just FYI, to mark this as like a settle price or something, just so you guys know. And what do you guys think this tells me if somebody doesn't know I'm testing? Is there anyone doesn't know why I would mark settle price?
To know if overnight is net long or net short.
Yeah, exactly. I want to know if it's net short, net long, because especially when you're all-time highs, remember their job is to make you feel like you're missing out. The greed's there, and a lot of people fall for that. I know maybe some of you do during the day on some trades, right? But a lot of other people are buying, equities that are at the top, like tech stocks, at these levels, and I promise you, most of the times that doesn't turn out well. So usually when they have something like this, a lot of FOMO, and tomorrow they have a lot of big earnings, and we'll look at some charts. It just doesn't look very promising in terms of return on an investment. If you're to put your money, let's say, into financial sector, it just doesn't look promising because they're all at the top right now. We'll take a look at a few stocks there, see what's going on.
Wouldn't that be on the bottom? Oh yeah, never mind. Never mind.
No, that's just a halfback. I want to pay attention to it tomorrow.
No,
So we have. So what do you guys have? What do you guys see here right now? I would say definitely 2-day balance being created here right now, right, between these two. You definitely have a 2-day balance, and your halfback and this one are right there. So if you're able to crack that, and you could potentially include this one, the third one, it's very close to this, that overlap. I don't think it's just gonna reinforce this 802 right here, 801. So this range here, what would you expect if they're to lose this right here?
Go to the bottom node.
You're most likely gonna hit the CPOC again, right? There's
Yeah.
a high chance you're gonna find the middle somewhere here. Maybe somewhere in this point here, 779 and a quarter or whatever this level is. But most likely you're going to be coming back to the CPOC, right? And now you see, right, that the 2-day POC is kind of building up a little bit higher. That means they shifted the fair price from the cumulative price of a couple of days to the upside, which is bullish, right? But another thing to note here is what? Do you guys see it? Let me hide everything. What do you guys see between the 2 days here?
Lower value area low on the second day.
Lower high.
Okay. Lower high on the end of the day, but they did make a higher high on the daily, right? But they made a lower low.
Okay.
Right? So if you're to go on the daily chart, that would have been a higher high, right? And a lower low. So when you have a higher high and lower low, what is it?
Indecisive.
Indecisive, right? A higher high plus higher low, it's bullish. Lower high plus lower low is bearish. Anything else is indecision, right? Here he made a higher high, but the body, bare body of it, right, where we close, is still stuck, right? So, I mean, even though they had this V-shaped recovery, they put in a lower low. Obviously, we didn't close there, but let's see what we do here. I would watch for the halfback of this period as well, of this sell-off.
But the interesting thing is the value high and low moved up.
Well,
Your
value area low.
moved up. Your value area moved up. It's higher
It did,
than
but
yesterday.
It did, yeah, but I think it was right here where they spent some volume at the end of the day, right? And they obviously closed right up, interesting left, right above the POC.
Yeah.
And the POC shifted here. The value area low came back and then they rejected it. So here it's telling you, hey, we don't accept prices below. We want the prices to be higher. So if we are to come back and let's say we crack, you add these levels here, And let's say now you crack this halfback, most likely you're going to revisit this POC area here again. So I'm definitely going to watch this because the POC as a profile, I'm sorry, the profile here is in P shape, right? So there's a chance that they can run. And I would take this, I would say I'm bullish above this here. Why is this text? So I'll be bullish above. Let them crack this, let them build value here. And then, I mean, I would not go super long, but I would target somewhere like this, right? So what I would be willing to play is, I don't know why this looks so squarish, but I would look for something like this. And then on the bearish side, I would look for something like this here. Okay. So that's the two plays that I'd be after. Okay. Oh, wow. Sorry, my wife brought over our 6 months old. He had a poop explosion. So she figured she would show me. Okay.
Oh no.
Man, it's all the way up to his back.
Oh,
What the hell do these kids eat? Sorry. That's funny. Okay, so that's what I would watch for. Where would your bias go a little bit more bearish? Bearish on potential that doesn't mean you're going to break out of the range. It would just mean for the moment you're looking to short, not long. What's that level?
I guess I sort of am bearish because we're below the POC right now.
Oh, we're below the
And
POC.
We're below the POC right now after hours, and that must hold level that you have there. You know, we
Hold on,
popped up, and we popped and faded that before.
Hold on, we are at 814. Am I missing something? Like right here at 810?
We are at 809, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But we closed, but our saddle was higher, and our POC is higher.
Yep. No, I agree. I thought you meant CPOC, sorry. In my
No,
head,
no,
I
no.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know about that. All right, let's see. Let me just check volume profile, make sure they're, ooh. Okay, think logically. We have major access high here, right?
Yep.
Who's participating today?
Long term.
It's definitely long-term sellers.
Yep.
Your value area, I mean, drastically, I would say it popped, right? I mean, this is a decent size increase on value area. Let me make sure it's going all the way to the top. Yeah. I mean, this is a pretty good value area, 37 points on the value area, right? And if you look here, it's usually 24 to 22, 18, and then we know this one was wide. So this one here was wide when we had the push up, which was 50 points. This one's here pretty wide. And what did they do from there? How did they extend it? They extended it down, right? They sent it down. So there's an excess here is telling you, hey, somebody entered the market. And that's why we look for these things, is to know who's trading. And when you have a triple distribution like you are here, man, tomorrow could be a really high chance of a trend day. When you have a triple distributions on a D shape, what does that mean in terms of market confidence?
It could go either way.
The break of this is going to be violent, and they're going to step into it. Here you had major sellers, right? They pushed the price lower, and then I would say, you had some buyers, but I think these buyers here are just the fair price buyers. It's the reversion to the mean people, aka mini shorties. I would definitely buy here, right? At any time you have a reversion to the mean, I buy it. But if they crack this tomorrow, people are going to pile in, right? People are going to pile in for the short side. So I'm going to watch this. I would say, obviously what Bean just said, PDPOC being right here is a big deal, right? We're below it, and that sets up a little bit of a bearish event for tomorrow. If you open below it and the settle price is right next to it, it's pretty good odds that we might, dump a little bit, maybe even test a lower node here, this cumulative POC on smaller time frames. So this range here becomes super important. And if you don't think the halfbacks are important, check again.
Personally, I think the highest we may actually hit is 28.
Tomorrow?
Maybe that's the absolute highest,
Yeah. I mean, think
and
about
then and then it'll fail
think
if
about
it makes it halfway up. Yeah.
Yeah, so if this is our date that we started here, right?
Because you got a big node there.
So you have this POC, and then you have basically
That
a
node up there,
LVN,
yeah.
a low volume node. Unless we have, if you look at footprints, unless you have some imbalances here, but that seemed like that imbalance got hit here. Usually, when you guys look for imbalance, it's gonna be most likely 50% of the candle. And let's see, where is that imbalance? 50% of the candle, right? Of the body. So I would say they already cleaned up the single prints of this one, but we'll find them, right? And you see the halfback is important to them. And then if they're able to reclaim this, I agree with Mr. Bean. There's a high chance that they're going to run it to the access high and test this. Kind of like knock on the door. Are you guys still there? Or are you still aggressive? Well, that would be ideal, right? And you see this volume node. That's what we got to watch out for tomorrow. This volume node here, if they crack above and fail, we have no reason not to be in a short.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a short where you can take one ES or one MES or whatever your account allows, and you step back and you put the stop loss above here, and you target CPOC.
Yep.
And that would be a pretty good fucking trade for a lot of you guys if you had a bad week. 51 points would be pretty rewarding, right? So that's something you guys can watch for. And for me, you guys probably know by now, I like to have a runner, right? And the runner makes more money than the other ones, because then it turns to be house money, right? And when I'm playing with house money, I don't care. It's not my money, it's their money. It's somebody else's money. It could be your money. I don't care, right? When I'm trading against everyone. And I'm not saying that in a mean note, but it's a zero-sum game. So when you're up, you lock some profits. You make sure you let some run. Make sure you leave some room. You can't, and somebody wrote in the chat something that didn't piss me off, but it's not right. I want you to think about it from your confidence perspective. If you're going long here and your target's here, let's say you get in here, your stop as a professional trader, why should you move this immediately to break even stop loss? As soon as it starts going, let's say this is your target, this was your stop loss initially, this goes, it starts going up here, and you guys immediately change it right here. Mm-hmm. What does that tell you about your confidence as a trader?
We don't have total faith in the trade?
You don't have total faith in the trade. You should not be in the trade. Like, I'd rather make zero money and see if my setup plays than make $10 and then see my setup play. And a lot of you guys are, I think where psychology comes in for you guys, or majority of people, is like, man, I'm up $30. I've had some losses. Let me cover it. But why don't you have the same mentality when you have a stop loss? Instead, you add to a losing position. How many times have you guys added to a winning position?
Not very often.
Well, but not very often, because people are I don't know why, but we are oppositely trained in our brain. We want to add when the odds are against us, and we don't want to add when the odds are with us. Like, it doesn't make sense, right? So if you're not going to do that, at least, let's say you took one MES today, and today was a really weird day. I'm not going to lie. I didn't trade much. But look at this. Your initial balance is here. And I also mentioned sometimes I think I responded to you. I said IB88. And I took a short here. I don't know if you guys know, but I messaged that I'm taking a short here as we're coming up. And that worked out pretty.
That. I saw the 88 and I didn't quite understand.
Well, does anyone know what it means?
Initial balance, and I think you were saying, I was understanding that it's the 88% rule, that it's not going to go above the IBH.
That's correct. So that means I'm looking for short.
Right, but IBH was way up high, wasn't it? Already. So I knew it wasn't going to even make it that far.
Yeah, the opening candle was the IBH.
Yeah.
When the opening candle high is the IBH, what does that tell you about the buyers at the top? I would say they're not very strong. Otherwise, they would have made a higher candle, right? Anyways, but this is where I went short, and the reason why, because if people aren't, is anyone not familiar with IB88? It's in the PowerPoint. It's okay if you're not. Does anyone not understand what I'm talking about?
What did you ask, Shorty? Sorry.
What is IB88 rule? IB 88%.
Like the IBH and the 80%?
88%. There's 80 and 88. What's the 88% with initial balance?
88% of chance it's not going to, if it breaks one side, there's an 88% chance it will not break the other side.
Meaning the high of the day has been set. So if this is our high of the day right here, set right in the morning, which is the IBH, and we've spent, some people go 3 10-minute candles below, and here's your 3-minute 10 candles. I would say quite a few candles here, right? You spend below. There's a 88% chance that this high of the day here is your high of the day. Does that make sense to everyone? Is there anyone confused?
No, thank you.
So if that's the case, right? Now that you know this, how could you, I caught pretty much the top here on this retracement. How could you know to short this? What levels could you have used to short this?
I actually took a short right there on that, what it was must hold at 40.1875. It popped above it, and as soon as it broke and failed, I shorted.
Okay, that's very valid.
We had a forming POC down below also around the 12-ish 13 area.
Yep. And look at this, guys. What about fibs? I mean, if you use any of the fibs it went over, right? And then popped under and then it proceeded. I was already out here. I mean, I took some points here. I was targeting a little bit lower. And when I saw that they're wicking a little bit, and I was like, okay, time to get out. But it was a good trade. And I didn't need much more, but I only caught this small portion, guys. And I was really happy. It was good profits, right? Some of you guys, catch 8, 10 points and you always want more. But you got to manage your risk if you're going to do that. If you catch 8 points, what's your stop loss?
4.
So you're playing 2 to 1?
2.
Well, or 4. You could have it be 3 or 2 or whatever.
Well, I'm just saying, if it's 2 to 1, you have to be more accurate than not, right?
Yeah.
So your goal is to look a little bit higher. Try at least, if you're gonna go below 3, 2.5, more to 2.75, just to have the odds in your favor, right? So hopefully you guys are thinking about that when you're trading, because this game is a game of probabilities. Some of you guys, I think, ignore that fact that you really have to manage the risk. It's not really about your profit, but you don't manage the risk by bringing your winning position to a break-even stop loss. That's not managing a position. That's being scared of your position. And scared money has never made money. So you guys can, definitely play that way, but I strongly suggest that you guys don't do that. You can definitely, let's say if I have 10 contracts and I'm up, let's say $2,000, any normal trader is gonna move that into the money. When I'm scalping during the day and it's really volatile, you guys hear me, I'm already moving in the money. Even it's $35, but can I go broke or can my account decrease by adding 35 to it? No. I try, when I'm in the profits and I have a good day, I'm not trying to give them and reduce the profits. I'm trying to add into the small chunks to it with minimal risk. I don't need to risk more to make more at that point. I'm just playing to add small chunks to it. At least that's how I work. It doesn't mean that you guys should do that, but at least I'm telling you the way I look at it when I trade. Okay. All right. Well, that's all I have on ES. I was said we're going to take a look at XLF a little bit. And this is a pretty big level here that they're coming up on. And that's a really bullish candle. Okay, well. It bounced nicely here. Let's see, what do they have in mind? Does anyone see it? Let me delete all of it. Do you guys see it? Tomorrow's gonna be fireworks. Does anyone see anything here?
The anomaly.
Okay, anything else? Trying to find a view that might help you guys.
Volume's going down a bit.
Volume's
Also,
going down.
SNR.
So when you guys look for consolidations, right? We talked about candles overlapping, price action overlapping. I would say this right here was a pretty good overlap, meaning this area right here. Let's see, if you guys agree? Is this a good overlap here? And you know, there's another box inside of that. That was probably just a discount area, half up, half down. I would say kind of like a yin yang. So what would you do here? How would you find out? Obviously, we had a little bit of sell-off here. And then you have a bigger range that, you know, overall, this thing's trading in somewhere around here, right? If this is our 50% here, right? So we're trading here. We obviously reject it. We are at the golden pocket of the shorting. What's the second confluence you can add to this? How would you find it? To look to see if there's a potential for a short tomorrow.
Look at the volume profile.
Yeah, look at the volume profile. And can you not look at the volume profile here or the whole thing? You go look at it, you know, look at it from here to here and see where's that POC. And that POC happens to be where you have a golden pocket with a POC that we consolidated in for 375 days. So what do you think? If you're a market maker, how would you take people's money here?
Pump it up.
Yeah, ideally, we get this tomorrow. They pump it. As soon as they lose this, you're looking for something like this, and then we would most likely find this to be somewhere right here, $32. I can't extend this. Okay, that's good enough.
Isn't that the chip sector one?
This is financials.
Oh,
Tomorrow there's earnings, right? Tomorrow is the bank's earning. JP Morgan's on, I believe.
Yeah, all big banks, JP Morgan, BSC, everybody coming tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow's fireworks in the morning. So I'll definitely watch for this. Set some alerts on this because this is big tomorrow. Fairly important tomorrow. Any particular bank stocks you guys want to look at?
so would
Yeah.
you look at Fred? You look at puts or an inverse on that spider?
I would look for puts. I don't know if they have an inverse on this. If they do, or if it's levers, I wouldn't take a levers one.
No, there is no inverse. We can only take puts, and they're fairly cheap actually.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind puts on XLF. I remember, I don't know if anyone remembers, when we added XLC to our portfolio, well, I added this to our portfolio somewhere around here, if you guys recall. It's coming up to a level where, you know, this is ready for exit, right, out of your portfolios, and it's perfect timing for myself. If I can get out of this here, and look, they have a little bit to go here, 77, that's our communication sector. I grabbed shares here, but on XLF, I mean, here, I don't know, I'd consider some puts here. Even if you buy, let's say, leaps 6 to 9 months out, you can manage your stop loss above all-time highs here. $3 targeting about 9. That's not a bad trade. 3 to 1. So I'll definitely take a look at this tomorrow and, you know, play it a little bit if they give me a chance. JPM, JPM's at all-time high. And they just swept all-time highs and let's see. Well, they've been obviously buying JPM. They haven't been buying JPM at all. Look at this. Yeah, and they definitely would not be interested in that. BAC looks horrible. They're creating liquidity. What's the other one? City. This one, has anyone looked at this before? It's been like this since like 2009. Right. Yeah. It's freaking crazy. Look at that. I just don't even know if anyone trades this or is that bad.
Why did the volume pick up like that?
Where on which one? Up here?
Yeah.
Well, I think it had something to do with the financial crisis
Oh.
in
Yeah.
2008. Yeah. But obviously it hasn't picked up on buying much, even though it's being consolidated here. The only other bank I hate is Wells Fargo. Oof, this one looks also the same. This one looks good. Look at the last time they brought it to the POC. Somebody's offloading right here. Oh man. Well, let's hope they bring this to 54. Hopefully you guys see this candle here because it went pretty fucking crazy here. 53% on that. That's April 20th. Oh my God. Well, bring it back here. Let's see if this guy's still there because obviously this candle is agreeing with this. It's just that they bring it up here. We might see him show up again. Definitely watching this, see what they do. What did Tesla do? Tesla's on the left chart. Let's see. All right, so we hit 224. Man, they did not bounce 234. I guess they're going for 196. Okay, is Apple below 180? Nope. Google about 146. Nope. Okay, Google's a good swing short. Amazon, what? 155? Oh man. Amazon is
My
at
wife had a ton of that. She sold off just yesterday.
dude, man, this is a good swing short. Actually, let me take some notes, guys, here. This is a really good swing short here. Nobody's buying it right now, or hasn't been buying it. And it's coming up to the same setup that we talked about. I don't know if you guys recall Amazon. It's been consolidating here. We had the sell-off. This is first time they came very close to that POC, which is like pretty much like right here. Let's see, maybe they touched it. No, maybe, yeah, on a good day, they touched it perfectly here. So this is not a bad swing short here. This is pretty good. What else? Any interest in any other stocks?
Nvidia?
Yeah, not much about that, man. It's going, I don't even know where it's gonna go anymore. If anything, you got a target that it's gonna go the same distance here. The more they short this one, the higher it goes. So, I mean, this has another. Yeah, I mean, this one has, this is the one that can keep up the mark. I can't get it to be perfect. You're gonna have to here. So you're measuring the square and probably somewhere around here, 675. Just, I can't look at this chart. I'm sorry. There's no way. Let's see, 6-month candles. How do they look? Looks good. Very good. See this buying here?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. I don't know who's buying this. Let's just see if you're hitting any fips here. Let's turn on extensions. Well, you did. You consolidated between them. All right. Oh, AMD's at a really good short. I mean, that's a. What happened to Pfizer today? I got alert that it dipped.
I don't know if this is the reason why, but there was Tucker Carlson did something report with some guy or who was talking about COVID vaccinations and the actual damage that is caused by the mRNA
Oh yeah, I saw that.
and so forth. So I don't know because Pfizer's the one they mentioned specifically. So
All three of them dipped today, the last couple of days.
yeah, well that's probably why.
mRNA, Pfizer, and
Do you guys remember? I don't know if you guys remember one of the watch lists when we talked about Myrna 120 calls. Does anyone recall that? When it was at the monthly bottom, and I said, "Man, this looks like a new virus coming." Because I don't know, you guys. I'll find the watch list. We talked about Myrna.
I remember you mention it.
Yeah, a lot of times.
yeah, I own some of it. You talked about it on that. I think on when we screened the stocks that one day.
Yeah, I think that's when it was. Myrna 120, man. These calls would have went bananas here, man. That's 40 points. I saw Wolf. I got an alert for Wolf. Oof, man, I might get a chance here. All right, well, that chance tomorrow. Yeah, this is gonna pop tomorrow. Let's watch this tomorrow. I might look to add some shares here. If anyone got Wolf, I don't know if anyone still has it. But this was like somewhere around here when we talked about it. I think it was like 29. It was in 20s.
What do these guys do?
Semiconductor.
Mm.
I made some on them and I sold them a few weeks ago because they kept coming down, but I made money on them.
Oh, this was an easy 20% mover on this. I remember this when it popped. I just didn't get it. But I think I'm gonna start a low position here tomorrow on this. I have some alerts. I keep getting them. I'll definitely watch this tomorrow. There's one more stock that I had in mind today. Can't think of it right now.
Is that coin? They have BTC approved.
That's buy the rumor, sell the news. I would never buy that.
Yeah, that's why all the mining stocks dropped like 13% yet today.
Yeah, Mana dropped 25% today.
Yeah, so this is gonna bounce here, right? This is a trap. They brought it. Watch tomorrow. There, I'll take a bet with anyone. Tomorrow this is gonna bounce. It's gonna hit the high of the day tomorrow. Watch it go back up. Or find a discount area for it. Here. Gonna go to this gray area here. It's gonna go 150 tomorrow. But why is Bitcoin down? If it's approved, shouldn't that be a good thing?
I don't know, but Bitcoin flew up to all the way up to like I think it actually touched $49, and so yeah, 49,000, and so it shot up and then it kind of fell back because it had been being pumped up. So as soon as it went live, the ETFs they all opened up and then dropped. What did
BlackRock do here? What did BlackRock do here? They're buying this ETF, guys. BlackRock is definitely buying this.
BlackRock has one of the ETFs.
No, but I'm just saying the big boys are selling the hell out of this. Look at the climax here. This is a definition of a climax here. Or a buying climax here is done.
Well, it said BlackRock started buying at least in January, so they're up like 2.5x.
No, I'm not doubting that, but now that it's approved, you would.
Well, I'm agreeing with you. It's like it's time for them to sell it off.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, look at this. If they bought it said January.
Yeah, that's at least when the news.
So that's like 42. I mean, and it hits 49. $7,000 for every 40. Shit.
The only thing is there's a limited number of coins for Bitcoin specifically. All the other ones don't have a limit. And
I don't believe that, man.
If they're bringing in retirement money that wasn't allowed to be in it now, it opens up a whole new customer base.
In portfolio management, I would call that it opens up new sheep to our
slaughter. Exactly. But the thing is, they're gonna it because there's a limited number of Bitcoin. A lot of people in the past have manipulated the currency early on. I wouldn't be surprised if BlackRock starts doing it.
No, they've been doing it.
Well, think of how much they had to buy in order for people to buy their ETF. They have to hold that Bitcoin in their storage. So they've got to be owning a ton of it. And I mean, yeah, that gives them ability to control the market.
Yeah. I mean, if you own the supply, right? I don't know if you guys know about, like, Einstein always said, the one who tells the story owns the world. And I would say BlackRock can make up any story as they wish. They have enough cash to do that. So, this is not a bad setup for a sell-off from here. If you have Bitcoin, it might be a good spot to. This was called test here. A little bit of a trap. They got people excited, and now, oof, even if it loses $7,000, that's quite a bit. Okay. I'm not big in Bitcoin. I don't know why. I just can't get behind it.
What right after he was done canceling the Keystone Pipeline, he lifted the terrorist designation on the Houthis. And look at this statement tonight. Iran is
listening to the news.
So look, I'm glad to be back. Better late than never.
Who is that? Is that Bean?
That's what I was thinking.
That's IP Trader.
IP Trader. Good stuff, man. Thanks. All right. Well, I'll see you guys live tomorrow. I'll trade, even though we have PPNI. I believe it's tomorrow. It should be. Yep. I say avoid the. Don't be around during 8:30 trading. Probably not the best to go. We have our friend Kashkari speaking. You guys know he's fairly bullish. So let's see what happens tomorrow. As long as they're above that PDPOC that we talked about, and if we open above it, it might be interesting, right? So we'll just take a look what they did here. They just pushed it there to 14. And if you guys remember, the sell-off POC was at 14 from here to here. Not this one, I'm sorry, I'm lying. This one here was kind of at 14, this top bin here. I think it was 14 here, yep. So that's a very interesting level here that they're on right now. Obviously, they're making lower highs here. They were not able to get in. Okay. All right, well, is anyone confused about the plan for tomorrow? Let me make sure I'm here.
Shorty, really quick, I'm joining a bit late, but that range that you have on ES, starting from December 13th, for your fixed range volume profile, are you looking at on the 4-hour time frame or the 1 hours? Because mine kind of varies.
Well, I'm doing 65 minutes here, and I don't know if it would. Is it change much in 2 hours? It should not.
And my SIG levels vary depending on if I put it on 4 hours or 1 hour.
Yeah, let me see what's the difference here. Let me switch. On 68 hours, I'm sorry, in 2 hours and 65 minutes, no difference.
Okay.
And on 4 hours, no difference for me.
Okay, well then it's just me. So you have your first SIG high at 48.19?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
And 47.55, okay.
All right.
Can I ask a quick question about time and sell, Shorty?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I was going to see on if you use it, what settings you use on like ES and NQ. I know some people have multiple ones where they have one that's like filtered below 50 and filtered below 100 or whatever.
I personally on NQ only do 3, filter of 3 and higher, right? And on ES, I typically do something like 5 or 10, depending
Okay.
also on the day. If I see the auction is really slow, and if I put 10, I might not even get a single reading, right? Because there's no participation there. So that's why I say that, right? It
Okay.
depends on the type of day. Sometimes I do 5, 10 if it's really, liquid and the auction is really aggressive. Then I switch it up to a little bit higher, right? Just so because aggression needs to drive aggression. I mean, either you're going to aggressively stop or you're going to keep going. So that's what I switch to.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Mhm. All right. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I'll look through the stuff a little bit here, just see if I see any anomalies. On the thing that I noticed on footprints, if you guys grab the area sometimes from, I believe, what did I grab? I think December 13th. Let me see. Yep. So I grabbed from December 13th. And if you grab the footprints via Delta, majority of Delta is sitting at 805. So if they're to lose 805, based on footprints, next level that they're targeting 66. So just FYI, you don't have to necessarily add that, but you keep that in the back of your head if you don't have it. The majority Delta is sitting here at 805.25 right now. And on NQ, let me see how they finished the day today. Thought they had green Delta at one point. Yep. So NQ looks much better than ES. Losing 937 on NQ is really bearish. It opens up a floodgate all the way to 16.7. So if they lose 938 tomorrow, they have a really high chance to hit 200 points below.
Are you sharing NQ chart? I don't see it.
Well, I'm just looking at. I'm not looking.
Oh,
at
okay.
Just looking at
Okay.
footprints here. I can switch footprints. Definitely share it. Look at this fella here on daily. So he's stepping in right there at 924. Whoa, there's a lot of trapped people here. Let's see. Let's check how many trapped people we have. Okay, yeah, there's a handful of them. You guys see this top? The top is trapped. There's a lot of trapped buyers right here at 961. Let's see, where's this one today? Oh my God. Holy moly. You guys see this?
Was that the news at the open? What was that?
Oh my God.
Sort of
Somebody.
is getting trapped, right?
Oh yeah, dude, that is some major buyers. Oh my God, they got caught. Make sure on ES we have. Man, my mouse is missing. Oh well, same scenario here. You see these guys here? Whoopity. This guy sold here. These guys bought aggressively, and that's it. The auction ended right here. He won. He won 108 contracts at the top. Look at the 4830 here. You guys see this? So it's fairly large size there. 2,900 contracts there. A lot of buying happened here. So there's quite a bit of trap here. 28. And let's see. There's a lot for today. There's a lot of trapped sellers here. right at 804. So if they lose 804, it might accelerate down, but that's a lot of trapped sellers here.
We're going to go into a lot of detail on footprints on Saturday.
That's correct. We're going to focus solely on footprints so you guys can kind of combine the 2 or 3 that we covered. So footprints is going to be the primary topic. Yep.
I might
And
catch it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on night shift, so I'm gonna watch the recording later.
Yeah, and we'll do the stock search and then we'll share the Google sheet for people like yourself. If you're not available, you guys can reference something, at least what I'm looking to add to my portfolio.
I appreciate it.
Alrighty. Well, thank you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Shorty.
Thanks, Shorty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Bye, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Peace out.
Good night.